Hey, today I am beginning my journey, and this is a journey of 9 films, and it is 9 films all about the same character, and that character, which you can probably guess, is Robin Hood. I've never done something like this before, so it's probably going to be a lot, but I am excited. So I am starting this journey with 3 classic Robin Hood films, and the names of those 3 films are The Story of Robin Hood and His Merry Men, Robin Hood 1973, that's the animated one, and then Robin and Marian. Other stuff is The Story of Robin Hood and His Merry Men. This is a 1952 Disney film, and the basic premise is this is kind of the classic Robin Hood story. So it's about Robin Hood meeting his merry men and also getting annoyed at Prince John, who has kind of made himself the monarch, where Richard is locked away and there's a ransom for King Richard, but Prince John doesn't want to pay it. And also everyone hates the taxes that Prince John has given everyone. So Robin Hood and his merry men band together to rob from the rich, to give to the poor, and also fundraise to get the rightful king back to England. And this movie's great. It does everything that I want a good Robin Hood story to do. First off, the baseline is a good Robin Hood story needs to be fun. Like, yeah, sure, you could take a serious tone or make it more of a drama, but it's Robin Hood. This is supposed to be a fun adventure, and this is a super fun adventure. Next up, it needs to have really good action. This movie has some incredible action, especially for a 50s movie. I was just like, it worked for me so well. Also, number 3, Robin Hood needs to be charismatic and a little bit of an asshole. And he's so charismatic in this. He's so great. Number 4 is you need to have a cast of characters, because there's a lot of characters in the original legends and stuff. You don't always have to do the same ones. That's totally fine. But don't just put them by the wayside. Let the side characters and let the villains and let everyone have their time to shine and do stuff. Also, there needs to be some good archery. That's just like a given, because it's Robin Hood. There's some good archery stuff in here. I will say though, the real standout of this one is definitely, without a doubt, Maid Marian, played by Joan Rice. I fell head over heels for her. She is just so adorable and so spunky, but she can hold her own. Even in a fight, she can stand up to the boys. So that's great. But yeah, I love this film. I would totally recommend it. If you're gonna watch one Robin Hood movie, this is the one to do. It is so much fun and just a blast, and it works so well. Definitely give this film a watch. Next up is Robin Hood 1973. This is the classic animated Disney film that I'm sure you're more aware of. This was definitely a favorite of mine as a kid, so I definitely had nostalgia goggles for this, which I 100% think helped, because this movie is just kind of okay. So this one is really just Robin Hood and Little John messing with Prince John, who is a jerk and not a great guy, but yeah. Okay, so what I liked about this movie, I liked the animation. I thought that was really good. I think the characterization of all of the characters was really good. Robin Hood was both cunning and sly and a little bit of an asshole. Maid Marian really stood on her own. She was great. Little John was solid. I liked the other side village characters, the little kids. They were fun. I wasn't super into Prince John, just being a baby, just constantly sucking his thumb. That's definitely little kid humor, but he was fine, I guess. But that kind of leads me into what I don't like about it. It's very clearly for little kids, so it's just kind of a bunch of segmented stories, really. There's not really an overarching story, just besides Robin Hood's a good guy and Prince John's a bad guy. Yeah. Really, I think I could have enjoyed this movie more had it been shorter or had more direction. It was kind of clear where the story was going and it had momentum behind it. Scenes just kind of went on for too long and didn't really do a whole lot. And this is a short movie, it's only about 80 minutes, but I think they easily could have cut out 20-ish minutes and it would have been a stronger film. So I did still end up liking this movie, but I don't think I would really recommend it. And unless like you have really big nostalgia for it, then sure, go for it, but like don't have your hopes set high. Like go into it with tapered expectations and you'll probably walk away more okay. So it's all right, it's fine, but like if you don't have nostalgia for the film, you don't need to watch it again. And lastly is Robin and Marian. This is a 1976 film starring Sean Connery and Audrey Hepburn. I was so blown away that these two were in a movie together that I was like, I have to watch this. I don't care if it's good or bad. Like, this is gonna be amazing because it's Sean Connery and Audrey Hepburn. That's fantastic. I can't wait. Oh my God, I did not care for this movie. I was impressed though. It did something different. So this has Robin Hood as an older man. He has a gray beard. What? So the premise is 20 years ago, Robin Hood had his adventures in Sherwood Forest and did all that stuff. But then he went with King Richard on another crusade for 20 years. And now Robin Hood has come back and he's found that nothing has really changed. And so it's just kind of about Robin Hood kind of like having one last hurrah, sort of. Okay, I like parts of this movie. I like the idea of doing an older Robin Hood. I think that's interesting. Having him not in his heyday, kind of him like trying to just piece his life back together is kind of interesting. I like the cast. I think they're good actors in general. I can't really comment on the performance here. I loved that this is the first film in which Richard the Lionheart was perceived as not the best guy. And we see his death. That was fun. But what I hated, first off, my biggest issue is that it's incredibly boring. I was bored out of my mind the entire time. Like, it was a struggle bus to continue to pay attention to this film because it's just so dull. Like, Next up, I hate that the Sheriff of Nottingham is still in power and he's just as bad as he was before. Like, it makes it feel like Robin Hood did nothing in his time back in the day as a youth. That, like, all of his adventures and antics were for nothing. And they don't really treat it as like, oh, it was for nothing. It was just like, that was so funny all those years ago and now nothing's changed. It's whatever. Robin Hood is too much of an asshole in this movie. Like, he completely disregards everything with Maid Marian. Like, she has made life choices and he does not accept any of those things. And he's just a big old jerk to her. I could be wrong, but I don't think Robin Hood ever shoots an arrow. I know he holds a bow one time. They're like doing a little attack thing. And I know Little John shot a few arrows, but I don't think Robin Hood did. I don't think he did the entire film. And it's like, how do you have a Robin Hood movie without him shooting his bow? Like, even if he did shoot it once, let's just say he shot it once. It's a Robin Hood movie. You can't just have him shoot his bow once and it not be something really cool. It's Robin Hood. It's like, those two things go together. Everyone knows, if they've heard of Robin Hood, they know he shoots a bow. He's really good at shooting bows. How do you not do that? How? There's nuggets of this film that are really good, but just as a whole, it just really doesn't work. It's so disheartening that, like, I had such high hopes for this one because they're two great actors and it's cool to see them together. But man, I did not give a shit about anything. So yeah, I didn't like this movie and I don't recommend it. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up, we got The Story of Robin Hood and His Merry Men sitting at number 5 in the really like. It is right behind Ivanhoe, which also features Robin Hood, and right above Casablanca, which is kind of amazing. I would say it got above Casablanca because I expected to love Casablanca. It's a classic, and it's a classic for a reason. It's great, but I did not expect to love The Story of Robin Hood and His Merry Men. Like, this just looked like a silly movie from the 50s that I didn't think was gonna be good, but it was great, and I loved it, so yes. I'm fine putting it above Casablanca. It works for me. And then after that is Robin Hood 1973, sitting at number 31 in the liked section. And then bringing up the rear, rightfully so, is Robin and Marian, sitting at number 36 in the didn't like section. And this is at a total of 39 old movies so far this year.